Hello everyone, and welcome to Talking Everything AFL. My name is Anthony, and this is actually my very first ever podcast. So I just want to start by saying thank you so much for giving it a listen. I really hope you enjoy it, and I appreciate anyone who sticks around for the full episode. I've always loved footy, talking footy, analysing footy, and arguing footy with mates. So I thought, why not finally put it into a podcast and a YouTube channel and share it with other AFL fans? In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing every single game from round one of the 2026 AFL season, all 9 matches, going through the key moments, big performance, what impressed me, and where teams might be a little bit concerned heading into round two. If you enjoyed this episode and want more AFL content, make sure you check out my YouTube channel, or one word at Talking Everything AFL. I'll remind you again at the end, but I've got more footy reviews, opinions, and discussions coming your way. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into game one of round one. Game one was between Carlton and Richmond on a Thursday night. Carlton, 10 goals, 15-75, defeated the Tigers, 9 goals, 17-71. The margin was 4 points. What a way to start Thursday night. A classic rivalry, a packed crowd, and a tight finish. Carlton got the job done by just 4 points, but honestly, this game could have gone either way. The big story here is Richmond's inaccurate kicking. The Tigers kicked 9 goals and 17 behinds, and that absolutely cost them the game. You simply cannot kick that inaccurately and expect to beat a side like Carlton. Tom Lynch had one of those nights. At forwards, absolutely. Hey, 2 goals and 7 behinds. He was getting to the right spots, competing well, but just couldn't finish his work. If even 2 of those behinds turn to goals, Richmond probably wins the game. For Carlton, the standout was the skipper, Patrick Cripps. He finished with 32 disposals, 9 clearances, 278 minutes game, and 1 goal assist. Cripps was huge when the game was on the line, strong in the contest, powerful through the middle, and a royal leader when it mattered most. Carlton didn't kick particularly well either, 10 goals 15, but they were just that little bit cleaner at the critical moments. Big win for the Blues, while Richmond will be absolutely kicking themselves. Game 2 on a Friday night, Hawthorn versus Essendon. Hawthorn, 20 goals 19, 145, defeated the Don, 13 goals 583, a margin of 62 points. Friday night footy, and this one turned into a statement win for Hawthorn. The Hawks were simply too good, running out 62-point winners, and honestly, the margin could have been even bigger. The star of the night was Jack Gunston, who rolled back the years with 5 major goals. He was everywhere inside 50, leading hard, finishing strong, and just completely dominated Essendon's defence. Hawthorn kicked 21 goals, which tells you everything about their ball movement and forward structure. Essendon, on the other hand, will be disappointed while their goal kicking, 15 goals 5, was accurate. They just didn't generate anywhere near enough opportunities. This was a worrying start for the Bombers. Our Hawthorn fans will be feeling very, very optimistic after round one and the loss against the Giants the previous week. Game 3, the Western Bulldogs versus the Giants. Western Bulldogs, 20 goals 14, 134, defeated GWS Giants, 8 goals 5, 53, a margin of 81 points. The Western Bulldogs destroyed GWS Giants by 81 points, and from the first bounce, it looked like men versus boys. Up forward, Aaron Norton was unstoppable, finishing with 6 goals. He took marks, created contests, and made the Giants pay every time the ball went inside 50. In the midfield, Marcus Bontempelli was best on ground, and it wasn't even close. He had 33 disposals, 6 clearances, and 3 goals. That's captain football right there. The Bulldogs dominated clearances, contested ball, and pressure, and GWS Giants just couldn't keep up. A scary performance from the Dogs and a concerning one for the Giants. Game 4, Geelong versus Fremantle. Geelong, 16 goals 14, 110, defeated Fremantle, 15 goals 10, 100, a margin of 10 points. This was one of the best games of the round. Geelong held on for a 10-point win, but what really stand out is what happened in the second half. After halftime, Geelong kicked 8 goals, while Fremantle managed just 3 goals. That shift in momentum was the difference. Shannon Neal was enormous up front, kicking 5 goals, while Max Holmes was outstanding through the middle. Holmes had 32 disposals, 5 clearances, and 657 metres gained. Holmes' run and carry was huge in breaking the game open. Fremantle showed plenty, but Geelong's experience and composure late proved too strong. Game 5, Sydney Swans vs Brisbane Lions. Sydney, 16 goals, 804, defeated Brisbane, 9 goals, 660. The Swans won by 44 points. Sydney made a serious statement in round 1, knocking off Brisbane by 44 points. The Swans' forward line looked dangerous all night, led by Joel Marty, who finished with 5 goals. He presented well, clunked marks, and finished beautifully, and that's with Kerner kicking 0. In the midfield, Justin McInerney was excellent. McInerney had 23 disposals, 2 clearances, and 377 metres gained. Sydney's pressure and speed really troubled Brisbane, who never quite looked comfortable. A strong start to the year for the Swans. Game 6, Collingwood vs LA Crows. Collingwood, 11 goals, 13-79, was defeated by the LA Crows, 14 goals, 9-93. The Crows won by 14 points. LA claimed a big win over Collingwood, and this was a cracking contest. One of the best players on the ground was Wayne Miller, who had an outstanding game. He had 34 disposals, 1 clearance, 1 goal assist, and 673 metres gained. Miller's ball news and run were elite. For Collingwood, Nick Dacos was still very good. 33 disposals, 2 goals, and 790 metres gained. But the difference was up front, where Riley Philthorpe kicked 3 goals and stood up when LA needed him the most. This was a strong team performance from the Crows. Game 7, North Melbourne vs Port Adelaide. North Melbourne, 17 goals, 11, 113, defeated Port Adelaide, 10 goals, 7, 67. The Roos beat the Power by 46 points. One of the big surprises of the round, North Melbourne smashed Port Adelaide by 46 points, and it was fully deserved. Harry Sheezel was outstanding. He had 31 disposals, 5 clearances, 1 goal assist, and 447 metres gained. And up forward, Nick Larkey did what he does best, kicking 4 goals. This was a huge, confident boost for North and a real eye-opener. The second last game of the week was Melbourne vs St Kilda. Melbourne, 18 goals, 12, 120, defeated St Kilda Saints, 16 goals, 11, 107. The D's beat the Saints by 13 points. Melbourne held off a fast-finishing St Kilda in a high-scoring game. The star was Jacob Van Rooyen, who was best on ground with 6 goals from 14 disposals. For the Saints, Max Hall was brilliant. 4 goals, 26 disposals, a competitive effort from St Kilda, but Melbourne's firepower proved decisive. The last game of the round was Gold Coast versus West Coast. Gold Coast Suns, 19 goals, 17, 131, defeated West Coast Eagles, 11 goals, 6, 72. The Suns smashed the Eagles by 59 points. Ben King was dominant with 5 goals, while Christian Petracca was best on ground. Petracca had 23 disposals, 3 goals, 6 clearances, 1 goal assist, and 537 metres gained. Gold Coast looked powerful, while West Coast struggled to keep up. So that wraps up all 9 games from round 1. Plenty of big performance, some huge wins, and already a few teams under pressure, i.e. St Kilda, 0 wins and 2 losses. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. This was my first ever podcast, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love your feedback. Let me know what you like, what I can improve, and what you'd like to hear more of. And don't forget, I've got more AFL content over on my YouTube channel. So you go to YouTube and type in at Talking Everything AFL. So that's all one word, Talking Everything AFL. Once again, my name is Anthony. This has been Talking Everything AFL, and I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy the footy.